Hey, good morning, and welcome back to my channel, Protect Academy, wherein I give you a daily dose of CISSP. And once we are over with CISSP, maybe something more, right? So today's daily dose is on security governance principles. Now, governance is a very important part of any information security process in any organization. Now, CISSP touches this topic intricately and makes you understand a certain process from the view of what CISSP understands or ISA2 understands what governance is all about. However, in organizations, we might take information security governance in different manners. But what is important is there has to be information security governance in all organizations which are using information systems. So what is information security governance? Now, information security governance are the processes or the security efforts that are visible or that are defined by organizational hierarchy, right? It is generally performed by the senior management of a company, generally by a board of directors. In smaller companies, it can be carried out by the CEO himself or the CISO, right? It should always be part of your IT governance or I will say your corporate governance framework, means your corporate governance, risk management, compliance teams should be intertwined with your information security governance, risk management, and compliance teams, right? So whether you're a bank or a BFSI or insurance company or a manufacturing company, a OT company, whichever company which uses information systems, the governance and risk compliance team for information security should be meshed with the corporate governance framework, right? The governance team or the governance steering committee should be aware of what is its legal and compliance requirements. So if you don't know what are your statutory requirements, your legal requirements, your compliance requirements, with Digital Privacy Protection Data Act coming in, you need to interpret that and incorporate in your corporate governance framework or information security governance framework. Okay. At times, you might also have a requirement to meet certain industry guidelines and license requirements such as PCI DSS. Now, PCI DSS is mandatory for all organizations which are processing the credit card and debit card data. So that is the standard which is laid down for you to follow, right? So there might be certain requirements for you to follow such compliance frameworks. And no security is of use, I will say, unless it is validated and audited from time to time. So even at my time during the armed forces deployed at the frontiers of Pakistan and China, the security always needed validation. We needed to always validate our security, that are we missing something? Are there any gaping holes? And there will be always, because vulnerabilities will keep emanating from time to time. Your things will go out of date, your processes, your procedures will go out of date. And that's why you require frequent validation and auditing. Right. So where do you start your security process or a governance framework? There could be certain starting point if you are under certain regulatory requirements like banks. RBI, CSF is there. In US, NIST SP 853 is a very, very beautiful document which is laid down by NIST for federal agencies of US to start their security planning or governance. Okay. For corporate organizations, it's very ISO 27001 standard is one of the best standards to follow if they want to have a risk-based information security governance framework. So these are the frameworks which are available. There is other frameworks like COBIT, ITIL, which you should be generally aware of once you are looking at CISSP as a certification exam. Also, at times, your organization might have a requirement of being governed by someone else. So if you are a bank, then what happens is, if you are a bank, you need RBI needs to have a external oversight on your compliance requirements. It might audit you independently. If you are public limited company and you have share markets on national stock exchanges, then you might be under the regulatory framework of SEBI. Okay, so like US federal agencies are under the framework of the NIST, right? So there could be a third party governance, somebody else whose regulatory compliance you're supposed to meet. Okay, and they might order an audit of your requirements. So that, as a security manager or senior security professional or corporate governance, you should be aware of what is your third party governance oversight. Okay, so how do you manage security? You manage security by laying out a strategy. You lay down the strategy, you lay down different kind of plans, which we will discuss further in our daily doses. And you must be having a measurable security. That means you need to mention, you need to lay out your key performance indicators and key risk indicators once you are planning your security. Okay, generally today organizations carry out a risk-based security assessment, and then it drives their security policy. Okay, so that's how you manage at a bigger level, at a senior level, you manage your security function. Security should always be aligned to business strategy and goals. So see, you have to understand that businesses drive security. Security doesn't drive business. Security is always a roadblock. Security is always a kind of I will say, causes trouble once you want to use something, right? If I keep an open door in my house, it's easier to get into that door, right? So security should always be aligned to business strategy and goals, and that's why risk-based decisions should be taken for information security, right? And once you do this, alignment with business goals and objectives, your top management takes interest in security decisions, and senior management gets involved in security decisions. That is called due diligence of that organization. Once you do that, you are actually at a safeguarding yourself by implementing security governance in your organizations. Due care is generally the measures or the actions you take to prove your due diligence. This would be part of our next daily dose of our daily dose sessions. So let's finish our today's daily dose with a small question. So the question is, which of the following statements best describes the relationship between security governance and organizational management? Okay, so please go through this and let's do elimination and find out which is the right answer. I generally start from the bottom. Security governance is a regulatory compliance requirement imposed on organization and does not involve broader management responsibility. How can security governance cannot include broader management responsibility? So this answer is probably outright wrong. Security governance is tightly interconnected with organizational management and oversees security at all levels of the organization. Oh, this answer looks like a probable. Security governance is a separate process. Oh, it's not a separate process. So this is completely out. Security governance is primarily an IT issue that focuses on implementing security measures behind the scenes. Oh, no way. It's just not an IT issue. If you put it as an IT issue, it's gone. It's a completely a governance issue, right? So the answer comes out very clearly that C is the correct answer. And let's see. Oh, so C is the correct answer. And that's one of the best ways of finding answers in your CISSP journey. So that's all for the CISSP dose of the day. See you on our next video. If you like it, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. For your information, we have got a beautiful platform called learn.protect.io where we run a lot of courses. If you would like to achieve your CISSP within the next 60 to 100 days, I run a live course, and also there are recorded sessions on our platform. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.